Dear ladies, this is a story time about how this girl, she met this guy. And I don't know these people, just so you guys know. And so she met this guy. And the guy was, much older than her. He had already served a lot of time. So he was freshly getting out. And she met him at the laundromat. And, oh, excuse me. So they end up dating. And you know uh, they moved into this apartment building. They end up meeting a neighbor. Well, the guy did, not the girl, but the guy ended up meeting a neighbor. And the girl, she was like, a little down on her luck. And so what she did was she sold her EBT card to this guy. And the guy took the EBT card and his girlfriend and went to the store. And so he got upset and he called the lady and he's telling her like, you tried to play me, I went to the store and there was no money on this card. And so he doesn't listen, to the girl. And I don't know if she even, really had a full chance to explain. So him and his girlfriend that he had been with for a while, they go up to their apartment. And so the girl was not at her apartment. And so he's boiling mad because he tried to use this EBT card at two different locations. And they both told him there is no money on here, things like that. So once he gets to the apartment building, she's not in her apartment. So they knew that she was friends with the apartment manager. So they decided to knock on the apartment manager's door. And the apartment manager told them, like, hold on, I'll get her. And so she comes outside. And as soon as she comes outside, the girlfriend of the guy, she grabbed the girl by her hair and was fighting her. And they take her downstairs. They like drag her downstairs, throw her in their car. And basically they just took this girl and by force. And so they end up going out, to some field or whatever, some side of the road, wood area. And so the guy, he's like still yelling at the girl, telling her like, you know, so he's upset and he's yelling and he's telling her like, no, you tried to play me. And he was, I guess, very enraged because he was so embarrassed. I guess it was the embarrassment that he was so angry, like deeply angry about. And the girlfriend, she was fighting the girl in the back seat of the car to show her loyalty to this guy. And so when they got to the wooded area, his girlfriend started seeing, because that's when the guy took over. And, he had his gun in his waistband. But he was so enraged that even when they were back at the apartment and they took the girl from the manager's apartment, the guy was so upset he even showed, what he had on his waistband to the apartment manager. So the apartment manager, she calls police and lets them know like what's going on and things like that. So once they get to the wooded area, the guy, he takes over, as far as cussing the girl and, hitting her and, doing her bodily harm and things like that. And so he gets to the point where he pulls from his waistband and he ends the girl, And so the girlfriend saw everything and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like so panicked and so like, you know, scared and everything. And so then when they get it back in the car, the guy's daughter calls him and is telling him like, look, you're being looked for. They're looking for you. So they knew they couldn't go back home. So they end up fleeing to another state, I believe it. So eventually authorities caught up to them And then, um, the girlfriend, she tried to, tell authorities, like, no, this is all his idea, and things like that. And the sad part is that they both got, I believe it was life in prison, but when they did the investigation, this is the part that is like really crazy, because in the investigation they found that the girl never lied. The full funds was really on the EBT card. He just kept punching in the wrong pin. And so it's like somebody, well, not one person, actually three people lost their lives, all because communication went bad. You know what I mean? All he had to do was take some deep breaths and, tell her to call and check, you know, the funds in front of him. A simple misunderstanding, when people allow anger to take over, they like just see red. They just do not know how to calm down or, properly communicate. You know, just I feel like proper communication could have saved all three of these people's lives. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments.